Welcome back to the Constitution in 3 Minutes with Mr. Postel. Last time we met, we had discussed all the way up until June 6th. The representatives, the convention, they had gotten all the way through 15 resolutions. And Mr. Pinckney motions that they consider the fourth resolution of the Virginia Plan, which is that the people will elect the members of the House of Representatives. So on the 6th, they revisit this. This is their last chance to throw a wrench in Madison's plan. So Mr. Wilson, he says a few words, but the very last words he says are fighting words. He says, "There is no danger of improper elections if made by large districts. Bad elections proceed from the smallness of the districts, which give an opportunity to bad men to intrigue themselves into office." Mr. Sherman takes exception to this because it seems like what Mr. Wilson is saying is that big states with big election districts procure men who are more virtuous. These are fighting words because it seems that he's pointing fingers at the ones from the small states and saying that they're not quite as virtuous and as noble and as good as those from the larger states. Mr. Sherman then goes on to say, all other matters, civil and criminal, will be much better in the hands of the states. The people are more happy in small than in large states. So he's saying that the states should maintain their power because they can administer justice better than a federal government. All of this fighting goes on, and then Madison finally steps in, and he gives the first fully fleshed account of the enlarged sphere that we will later see in Federalist 10. This is what he says, and allow me to pull it up for you. Madison draws a lesson from all of the injustice that we can see from factions throughout history. This is what he says. The lesson we are to draw from the whole is that where a majority are united by a common sentiment and have an opportunity, the rights of the minor party become insecure. In a Republican government, the majority, if united, have always an opportunity. The only remedy is to enlarge the sphere, and thereby divide the community into so great a number of interests and parties that, in the first place, a majority will not be likely, at the same moment, to have a common interest separate from that of the whole, or of the minority, and in the second place, that in case they should have such an interest, they may not be so apt to unite in the pursuit of it. So what Madison's saying flies in the face of contemporary wisdom about Republican government. It also flies in the face of every single theory about Republican government that has existed. Most theories, Montesquieu, for example, says that you have to have a small, homogeneous republic as opposed to a large, heterogeneous, or diverse republic in order to secure liberty, because all the people have to think the same. Madison says the exact opposite. Madison says that if everyone thinks the same, then the few will suffer under the conditions of the many who are going to unite and harm them. The few are not safe in their liberty or their property. Madison says you have to have a really big republic so that interest can combat interest. That's how you keep